It should be fine.
Yeah.
We have these right here, right? Should we move it? No,
I think it's
we're
fine.
leaving it there. Okay. Did we start? Did you already push play?
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Okay. All right.
So how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
It's nice.
It's been like a week since I met with you, I think. A week or two.
I think it has been about a week. How are you doing since the last time I saw you?
I've been doing pretty good. Had some ups and downs, but I think it's just like a day by day process.
Yeah. What's been going on since I've seen you last? What have you been doing for your ups and downs?
Lately it's just been like a whole lot of things going on at home.
Mm-hmm.
So really it's just processing emotions and just like getting rid of the bad thoughts, you know?
Okay.
Because it's really easy to just go in a thought loop, you know, get caught in the bad thoughts, and then it's just all downhill from there with bad decisions and stuff. So it's just a day by day process of getting rid of the bad thoughts, in with the good, out with the bad.
Yeah. What's been going on at home? Last time we didn't really touch on any of that.
Well, pretty much, it's because recently my mom had a stroke actually, so she's just got she's really emotional, and at the same time she just needs a lot of help with things. But at the same time she's really stressed out, so like I guess the way she processes her stress sometimes I can't like it's hard for me to process my emotions and
Sure.
the way she processes her emotions. So I feel like sometimes I gotta help her, but at the same time I just gotta stay away.
Okay. So you feel, if I'm understanding correctly, you're feeling like you need to help her, or
Yeah.
you're wanting to help her, but she's wanting her independence still.
Yeah.
About not wanting to accept your help. And
Exactly.
are you frustrated about her not wanting to accept your help?
I am at times because I know she could benefit from it really.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like she'll be in pain, and instead of like going for a walk and being like doing something like active, or like eating something that'll make your headache go away,
Sure.
she'll just resort to like taking pain pills, and that's my issue. It's just like I can't be taking pain pills.
Okay. So you are trying to suppress your let me use the right word without being offending.
Yeah.
Your past history of pain pills, or your desire to want to take the pain pills.
I would say probably both.
Yeah.
To be honest, since you're asking.
And she has them around, and you would rather her try not to use those and just to kind of be a little more natural with them, so she herself doesn't get an issue with them, or
no,
you don't want them around.
I guess she doesn't think she has an issue with them, but like I only recently realized that it's always been an issue,
With
so
her?
like yeah, with her, and just like being around her in general, like growing up, it's just influenced me in a way. Like I feel like if those pills weren't there, I wouldn't have the problems that I have today, type of thing,
Okay. So you feel that you're taking the pills is more like a learned behavior to kind of be a problem solver.
Yeah, it's not like I wanted to be in that position. It's not like I wanted her to be doing that, or she wanted to be doing that. It's just like I was put in that situation, and for me, it's just made me the person I am today. I'm able to learn from it and become better from that.
Well, that's good that you notice that is an issue, and that you want to have a plan and to reach some type of a goal to have yourself not take those anymore, and that you've noticed. Then maybe you could be helping your mom too.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I wish that I can do, is just help her, like not have to resort to that, Because like for me, I just feel like it was an adapted behavior. I got used to that feeling before I even knew like what being buzzed was, you know.
Yeah.
I was in like fourth grade and she was giving me those
Oh,
like third third grade to like middle school. I was being given that as a kid, so like I didn't even know what that was when I was feeling it, and then it became a problem for me in high school.
I see. What was the reasoning for her to be giving those to you at such a young age?
Well, I've always had migraine headaches, but she would give
Okay.
them to me when I had a migraine, so my headache would go away.
Okay,
And then it would be like a once a week or twice a week thing.
I see.
Became like a cycle over time.
I see.
And it was all over the house too.
Hmm.
So pretty much freshman year once I actually realized what it was and how like the effects it had on you, then I actually realized it was all over the house. That's when everything just went downhill,
Yeah. What did you start doing to get to have a disconnect with the pills?
Um, it's honestly I don't even know what it was like that made me stop. It was just a constant like everyday or like weekly feeling like I just had this like it was just like I felt like a two-face, you know? Like I
Okay.
had one part of me that just felt like my normal me,
Hmm.
and then I had this other part of me. It was like the devil on my shoulder just talking to me, like saying like take it, take it. You should
Wow.
be doing this. This is something you should be doing. It's normal to be doing this.
Well, it seems a good thing that the good side of you is the one that kind of won in your
Yeah,
situation.
exactly.
Um,
I just like to look at reality more than the stuff that makes you feel like things are real,
mhm.
I guess.
Well, yeah. Yeah. That, I mean, I'm sure that it was difficult for you to admit that you needed it to yourself,
Yeah.
that you
Probably
did
one
not need like
probably one of the
those
hardest
pills.
things I've done is just coming to the conclusion that it's something I don't need.
What have you done instead of taking those pain pills? Exercise, or have you
Um,
tried, natural
I mean,
things?
I do medicate with cannabis, but like it's not like my
Hmm.
crutch.
Sure.
I honestly think it was like just the sense of reality
Hmm.
because like being in that world or just being surrounded by that feeling, just
Hmm.
chasing that feeling it doesn't feel real. But at the same time, it feels like you're in like Alice in Wonderland. You know, it's like you
Sure.
feel like everything's right, but everything's totally wrong. Like
Well, that's what her mushrooms were
yeah,
for.
I guess so, definitely.
Yeah. Um, so it was obviously an empowering
Hmm.
feeling for you to
And
notice this, and maybe you'll be able to teach your mom
yeah,
some things.
that's I think the hardest stopping point I've run into is like getting that message across to my mom because I don't know how to talk to her about it or even bring it up
Hmm.
without without like bringing that subject up because I never ever want to talk to her about like my problem.
Hmm.
It's not something that she should have to think about, you know.
Sure.
She didn't know that it was a problem for me, so like I don't think it's a problem with her as far as like influencing me. It's just
Okay.
something that she didn't mean to do, so I wouldn't want to like make her feel bad. I just want to
Better.
help her.
Yeah. Well, you can. There are many different ways that you can talk to her about that. I'm sure that, like you said, her intention was never to harm you
Hmm.
or, obviously make you become addicted to,
Yeah.
pain pills. And she has had a problem with them
Yeah.
over the course of some long time due to something that's happened to her. And she, may or may not even realize that it's something that has affected you for all of
Definitely.
this time. And I wouldn't want to hurt my mom's feelings either.
Yeah. Exactly.
you know.
Especially at that age, she's like 60 years old. She's just recovering from a minor stroke. So
Hmm.
the last thing I feel like she needs put on her plate is like more problems, you know? Because I don't have a problem right now. I've been
Hmm.
managing it really good over the past 2 years. So I don't see any reason why to dump that on her.
Sometimes it's not dumping it on a parent. Sometimes a parent um, wants to know that they have done a good job with
Yeah.
their child, even though she began this addiction with you, per se, you have overcome it. And for her to know that you are strong enough to do that, also you have to think about that. You need to be proud of yourself. And if you ever do decide to discuss it with her, I'm a parent, and if my son was to tell me something like that, I of course would feel awful, but I would love to know that my
something
child
was becoming of it,
was strong enough to do something like that, and then strong enough to come to me
definitely
to discuss it.
I feel like the hardest part is because she's just like, I guess she's just got a lot going on, and there is just a whole lot of stress going on, like, in her life.
Sure.
But I feel like sometimes just me being there is like, it just brings up bad thoughts, because she'll ask me, because I've talked to her and I've told her like where all the medication went at the time, and she was very upset with me that I took it and everything. But she's even like asked me, like, when she couldn't find her own, she's come up to me and like confronted me and said like, hey, like, I'm missing my medication, I'm missing these pills, like, do you know where they're at, because I can't find them. And I will tell her like, hey mom, I haven't touched those, I haven't touched them in like years, I don't know where you keep them. I don't want to know where you keep them, so please don't like accuse me of taking them type of thing.
Have you taken them, or did she really forget where
she's been forgetting where she's been putting them. There was a ton of it around the house when I found it at the time, and I did pretty much take everything that I could find at the time in high school, but as of like the past 2-3 years, I haven't touched it, and I haven't like looked for it. So like, I just wish she would believe me, like, when I told her, or when I do tell her, because I just have a feeling she doesn't believe me, like, in the back of her mind.
Well, that must be frustrating.
Yeah, it's frustrating for sure.
That would be frustrating. How long ago was her stroke?
Her stroke was in February, so about 2.5 months ago, just about.
So it was recent.
Yeah.
And what was her reasoning for the pain pills before then? Did she have migraines and things as well?
They were just collected over the years.
For just random.
They weren't like used, and they weren't thrown out. They weren't discarded. So there was like many. When I first found like that it was in the house, there was like anywhere from like, I think it was like 8 to 15 scripts, like entire jars full of it, and it was just in different spots. And that's obviously all gone now, but it just seems like for some reason there's always some that's like stashed somewhere, and that's the one thing that's bothered me. Like, she didn't get surgery, like, she's just had them laying around, and I don't know why. It's like something that has to be around.
Just for her to feel comfortable, you think?
I guess, like, for pain management, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's definitely better things to do. Anybody can do to manage their pain than taking like Vicodin, like really strong pain medication.
Absolutely. Yoga, journaling.
Even a walk around the block in the morning is going to help you more than just like relying on a pill to make you feel better.
That's true. That gets some happiness going up in the brain. So, do you have anything else that you want to talk about right now? It seems that we've talked a lot about your mom and the issues with the pain pills, and sounds like you're doing really great, and that you have really, really become strong when it comes to the issues with the pain pills. That's a great thing.
I would say recently, because it's hard too to find that cycle. I feel lucky that, because most people like ask me like, how do you have the mindset to do that? How can you just stop doing this or that? And it's just how it's been for me since like I was a kid. So like it's not something that's hard for me, but at the same time, the hardest part is just the temptation. So like the times like where my mom will ask me like, hey, you know, why is this missing, or like what's going on? Like, even though I know I don't have a problem, that inner voice always still talks to me. It's always still there.
Sure.
And it's always still telling me like, hey, like there's people that even like ask me if I want this or that like every single month, you know, and I have to tell them every single time, tell them, hey, I still don't do that. You know, like just because they're my friend and they do that doesn't mean I have to do it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't really care if people think differently of me because I change my lifestyle. It's my choice, not theirs.
Exactly. You changed your lifestyle for the better.
Yeah.
To better yourself.
I would rather lose a friend over something like that than for me to make a choice just because my friend wants me to.
Well, that's a very beneficial, that's a beneficial thing for you. And, if friends are, if a friend is really that good of a friend, they would want positive things for you.
Exactly. That's the one. Well. That's the one thing I always remember too. Like in those situations, like if they were really a good friend, they wouldn't have said that, or they wouldn't have done this type of thing. So that's the type of stuff that makes it so easy for me, because it's my choice, not theirs.
Well, it's been really good talking to you,
Definitely.
Grant.
It's been good talking with you as well.
Yes, and I will see you next week.
Definitely.
Okay? So, keep working on that.
I will.